guys? Welcome back. It's The Beer's Gone Bad.
Where the beer flows like wine.
We are your hosts tonight. I'm Pat Tugend.
I'm Scott Van Book.
Scott, welcome back.
Hey, Pat.
So, guys, tonight we're doing a limited edition Newcastle beer. It's called Werewolf. I found it at Vaughn's. It intrigued me. I've actually never seen anything from Newcastle other than just Newcastle Brown Ale, so...
Supposed to be named after dueling characteristics, got me, off the beer.
Say it again?
The dueling characteristics off the beer. That's why it's named. It's supposed to have, like, I think a really mellow start to it, and then, like, a bitter finish.
Yeah, it's the Newcastle Werewolf. Let me read you some facts back here as Scott pours this forward here. Actually, I'll switch it. You take that one, I'll take this one. Alright, I'm gonna do... What is this?
Wherever.
No worries, I gotcha.
You got it?
Alright. So what I got here is, what better way to toast the fall than to have a bottle of this formidable character brew. At first smooth with mellow overtones of sweet berry fruit and a bite of bitterness, suddenly cuts through long, deep and lingering. Brewed with rye malt, it is naturally blood red in color. Somewhat true. Unlike the mythical wolf-like creature said to roam the bleak moorland surroundings of Newcastle, this is real, so consider yourself warned. To be honest with you, I saw the cover and I immediately thought of Werewolf in London, and I freaking love that movie.
Dude, that one's been popping up on my Netflix recommended.
Have you watched that in a long time?
Not in a long time.
Great movie, dude. Such good special effects.
Like old school special effects.
Up here in the top, it looked like the werewolf is literally just ripped through the top of the label. And up here it says, Escape from Britain. That's actually kind of badass.
That was pretty badass.
How do you feel about Newcastle?
I'm going to go ahead and say that's one of the more badass sayings I've seen on a bottle since the Arrogant Bastard.
Oh yeah, full on. Let's before we get into this, give me a color here.
Okay,
1 being Bud Light, 10 being basically Old Rasputin.
You know, it's got a darker hue to it, but it's not really like a cloudy beer, and it doesn't really seem... I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a red. I'm going to give it a 5.5.
I'm kind of there. I'm about a 4.5 on this one. I kind of think...
I can go either way.
It's clear, like physically clear, like I can see through it, but it's still got a dark color.
It's got a darker hue. That's why I think you could go anywhere between a 4.5 and a 5.5.
Alright, well let's get into it. Cheers for you, man. What do you think about Newcastle?
I like Newcastle, dude. I do.
Right off the bat, like that thing tastes like Newcastle. It's got that Newcastle kind of like
definitely fruity though,
flat kind of flavor to it. Like it's just there. It's not like in your face craziness.
Well, you get that right off the bat, but like, did you pick up on the fruits? Right? I mean, it's sweet.
I guess you can actually right in the front there, right?
Yeah, it just
right
seems like right in the front, front of the taste.
No, that's true though. You taste the fruit right there in the beer.
Dude, I like Newcastle, the brown ale. For a while, it was one of my favorite beers.
I mean, you are ancestrally from Britain, so what can I say?
If it's right in there, my grandma would be proud.
Your grandma would be proud. Oh, guys, welcome back, by the way. God, what a start to a great week. We're kind of starting off late here.
Yeah, we're getting a little late jump on it, but a jump nonetheless.
So, you know, we're back.
Yeah.
The Beer's Gone Bad. Thank you for checking in.
And thanks for everybody who's been following us on Twitter and Facebook and checking out the blog.
Seriously.
We really appreciate it. We appreciate everyone reaching out and appreciate all the feedback. So, hey, kudos to you.
It's been really good.
Here's to you.
Here's to you. Cheers. Where are you going to put this one at? I mean, tell me about your taste notes on this. I mean, not notes. Necessarily, like, give me your notes on what you're feeling here.
Oh.
Do you like it? Do you hate it? Like, what's the taste?
This is a prime example of a beer being good. That's what it is. So many times when we taste the IPAs here, and I'll be like, oh, and I give it a low score because it doesn't have that hoppiness that you expect from an IPA. From Newcastle, it's a Newcastle, so I'm expecting something that's going to taste like a Newcastle. Then it comes in with the fruit. It has more of that yeasty taste to it, more of that malty taste, but I'm okay with that because that's what I'm expecting from this beer. Couple that with the kind of fruitiness that's going on in there. I like it. Newcastle's always been a good beer in my book because it's drinkable. It's a little bit darker of a beer, but it's not a super heavy beer. You can sit there and have a few of them. So you kind of know, if you like Newcastle, this is kind of a fun twist on a Newcastle. Exactly. They're not like getting really crazy with it. They're kind of staying true to their main flagship beer.
I kind of agree with Scott on this one. I think this one's actually really nice to drink. It's if you like Newcastle. If you're not a Newcastle fan, you know, maybe not your cup of tea. But if you're into Newcastle, this one's actually kind of fun. It takes that brown ale and kind of gives it a sweet, you know, fruity kind of flavor to it.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it, because, again, I think it is what it is, and it does a great job of being what it is, and I think it's a great spin on Newcastle, like their classic ale. I'm going to give it a 7. By golly, I'm going to give it a 7.
You stumped me there. I don't know what I'm going to give it, actually.
Well, what do you think?
Because I like Newcastle.
Yeah, what is Pat thinking about this beer?
I'm going to give this a 6. I'm going to give this a 6 because it's better than good, but it's not blowing my mind. And for these reasons. One, I love Newcastle. It has never been a beer that has blown my mind, but it's always been a solid contender to be like, wow, what are we going to drink tonight? Let's get some Newcastle and mellow out for a while. It's never been a get out and go, let's get rowdy beer.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is trying to be that. It is a unique flavor to Newcastle. I don't think I would seek this out and try this again. But it's better than being like, wow, I just picked something off the shelf and that was whatever. This is good. Like, it's a good beer, but it's not enough to get me back in there and buy it again.
I think that's what bridged the gap from 6 to 7 for me, is that I would buy it again.
That's okay. That's perfect. It's your British.
Also,
it's your British roots.
Also, Newcastle totally reminds me of when Herman Malamud had a fake ID, and he was like 16 years old, and would drive down to IB to buy beer, and he would only buy Newcastle. And we're in high school, and I thought Newcastle was the grossest beer ever. I'm like, God, it's dark, it's gross.
It's an acquired taste, though, huh?
Yeah, and then you get further into your beer drinking career, and you're like, you know what? It's actually a pretty drinkable beer. And 16-year-old Herman Malamud, touche, dude. So it always brings me back a little bit. So I got a little.
It's an acquired taste for sure.
Well, all in all, I think we both agree that it's a good beer.
If you had to scold this beer, what would you give it? If we were in a drinking contest and you took this thing down,
I think you could take it down.
Easy beer to drink, hard beer to drink.
So easy beer being like your Bud
One
Light.
Easy being 1, 10 being amazing.
Wait, easy and
yeah, it's like shotgun ability.
Okay, so actually,
10 being a great shotgun beer, 1 being horrible. Do you think you can take this down pretty easy?
I think 1 should be.
Well, 10's like, dude, 10. I give you a 10, like riding the surf wave. Surf wave. Wow. Wow. That's like calling skateboard wheels tires, which I actually did the other day.
Some nice tires on that.
Some kid came in and I was all, dude, you need some new tires on that board, man. Immediately regretting what I just said.
He's all, okay, that guy does not know what he's
forget that last question I just asked you, man. Oh my god.
About the tires? Or the wave?
Before that, actually, the first question.
I think it's a very drinkable beer, and I think if I had to drink it very quick, I could. I just want to go ahead and say, from all of us, Pat and I, to all of you, well, probably just Pat and I watching this again. Thanks for checking in. Again, we appreciate it. Twitter, Facebook, posts, the feedback, YouTube.
You guys are the best, man. Thanks for being in there. This is the Beer's Gone Bad, guys.
Where the beer flows like wine.
Take this down. 1 sip. Oh, my shirt.